All right, session 12, guys, an exciting one for you today. We're gonna go through a couple series of things to work on balance, to open up flexibility, to work on specific strength to help balance. We're also gonna incorporate some things that are gonna prepare you for the press to handstand, and then we're gonna jump into the press to handstand. So these are a lot of ideas and things that I used to do when I was working on press and things that I'd incorporate that would help the press, and this could be a full, entire training session that you guys could take and practice for a long time. We're gonna talk about some other drills for the press today as well, but the emphasis today is gonna be on building a routine that's gonna help the balance and is gonna help you get some range of motion. So this is how I've kind of built things for myself, and I found it worked really well, as opposed to breaking things up into different segments where I'd have a day of just flexibility or just handstand work. I like to pair them all together where I'd be working on handstand and shoulder strength and flexibility and preparing for press. And in that way, I found I was a lot more consistent with the flexibility stuff, which has led to having a middle split and a left split and a right split, as opposed to just spending a specific amount of time working on those things. I just built it into my training session. And in that way, I was able to consistently do these things every single week, every single training session, every single day. So that's what we're gonna jump into today. Make sure you've done a general warm up, get those wrists ready, get the shoulders ready, get the body generally prepared for the training session, and then we're gonna go through a couple different series. So how it's gonna work today, guys, I'm gonna run through the different exercises that we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you the amount of time or the amount of reps that you're gonna perform in each exercise, and then I'm gonna demonstrate every single one so you guys can see what everything's gonna look like. So exercise number 1, we're going against the wall and we're gonna practice 5 slideaways, focusing on the underbalance portion of our handstands and getting into a good handstand shape before coming back to the wall. Once we're done with the 5 slideaways, we're gonna take it down to the floor, and in as many sets as you need, we're gonna accumulate 30 seconds of freestanding balance. Once we're done our 30 seconds of freestanding balance, we're gonna work on a little bit of flexibility. We're gonna do a 15-15-15 lunge stretch where we're working on 15 seconds in different positions on the leg, starting with a 90-90 lunge for 15 seconds. And then it's gonna be a deep as possible lunge for 15 seconds. And then it's gonna be getting chest down to knee for 15 seconds. Once we're done on one side, we would alternate and do the same thing on the next side. Then we're gonna slide down into a split, and we're gonna do a 10-second split, supporting ourselves on fingertips, or if you need to use blocks or something a little higher so that you can touch the floor and give yourself a little bit of support, do it that way. It's gonna be 10 seconds there, and then we're gonna take the hands off of the floor and hold the split for 10 seconds with only the legs on the ground, and we're gonna also do that on the left side and on the right side. Once we've taken care of the flexibility with the legs, we're gonna go onto the floor and we're gonna work on some core. And for today, it's gonna be 15 hollow rocks. And in the hollow rocks, we're focusing on keeping the low back on the ground. When we rock, we want our heels to touch the floor. And then when we rock back, we wanna get our wrists to touch the floor. We're trying to keep the shape very long and very open. If we're not quite at that strength level yet, then we can bring the arms in a little bit. So that's gonna be series number 1. Once you guys have completed series 1, we're gonna take it back over to the wall. We're gonna start with 5 tuck slides against the wall. And if you can't do them in one set, that's okay. You can come down and take a break, but we're aiming for 5 total. Remember, in that one, really focus on keeping that open shoulder position. Once you've done 5 reps on the wall, we're taking it back to the floor, and we have another 30 seconds of balance freestanding on the hands. Once you're done your 30 seconds of balance, back down to the floor. This one we're gonna sit in a straddle position and work on some overhead oblique crunches with weight. For this one, you can use 5 pounds, would be a good place to start. And if you're a little bit stronger, you can jump up to 10 pounds. Okay, into series 3 now. We've gotten our balance and our preparation work out of the way. We're gonna work on some press stuff. So to start with, we're gonna go on the floor and we're gonna work on 5 straddle lifts for the press to handstand. And then we're gonna go against the wall and we're gonna go 5 reps of partial pike press off of the wall. Again, with these ones, we're aiming for 5 reps total. If you wanna do like 2 rep, 1 rep, if you wanna do 2 reps, 3 reps, if you can do all 5 in a row, no problem, but we're aiming for 5 total. Once we've done 5 of each, we're bringing it down to the floor, and we're gonna start with 10 seconds, sliding into the deepest middle split that we can, either supported on the hands or supported on the elbows. And once we're done 10 seconds there, we're gonna reach forward as far as we can, resting on our fingertips, and we're gonna go 10 more seconds there. Okay, now the last piece of the day, we've done a couple series for warm-ups, is to practice the press to handstand itself. So at this stage, you might just be working on that negative press to handstand, where we're starting in our balance position in the handstand, and we're working on just moving the legs through the position, opening them up, circling them around, nice and slow, all the way to the floor, making sure we're not letting the legs drop into the position. If at this point you're feeling a little bit tired and you want to take it to the wall to just practice the technique, we're going to do that. This one again, our goal is to aim for anywhere from 5 to 10 reps. We want this to be the majority of the strength portion of our practice today after we did those warm-up series. If you're feeling good with the negatives or with the negatives on the wall, then we're going to start to practice some full straddle press to handstands. For this one, we're going to start with that same straddle lift we practiced before, and then we're going to simply focus on doing the concentric portion of what we just practiced, of circling the feet around and up into the handstand position. So it's the same lift from here, where I get my feet off of the ground, I open my legs, and then I think about circling them around up to the top. So let's do 5 to 10 reps total of these exercises of press to handstand, full press to handstand. And then what I want you guys to do at the end is choose any exercise, but the goal is to finish on a good one. Whenever we're practicing skill work, the last thing that we do, the last thing that we practice is what our body is going to internalize. So if we finish on a set that's no good, we fall over, our technique wasn't very good, that's the last thing our body is going to remember. And that's typically what we're going to learn and what we're going to teach our body to do. So what we want to make sure that we do, and whether that's a handstand against the wall, a freestanding handstand, we want to finish on a good one. So maybe just kicking up to a handstand and holding a 10-second handstand where you feel shoulders nice and tall, shoulders nice and open, nice flat back, squeezing the legs, pointing the toes, everything that goes into making a really nice straight line. Finish there, be done. But the goal is to always finish on a good one. No matter what, finish on a handstand or some portion of balance that you're really happy with. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I hope you found these series informative and helpful, and there was something in there that you're gonna take away and implement into your own practice. I'm gonna carry on. I'm gonna do the rest of my training session today. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the press to handstands as the week goes on, and then we're gonna jump into some drills and some things that we can do to start to prepare and get ready for the one-arm handstand. We're getting close to the end. This is session 12. Again, thanks for joining me, guys. Follow me on Instagram, tag me in your work, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you know when the videos come out, and I'll see you guys all on Wednesday for the next session. Peace.